Hello and welcome to chapter 155 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. You say 155 or 45?
145. I think
Okay.
Mr. Giselle might have jumped us up
We've got
10.
well, because I'm looking at the show notes. Well, we got 155 up here
It's
on
one
the
for
slate.
it's
You've got
145.
145 on the notes, and then if you actually go into the notes, it still says chapter 121. Whatever. No, I'm doing yeah, exactly. I'm doing I'm doing good. My weekend was a lot busier than I wanted to be. Sunday, I had planned to catch up on The Walking Dead for the series finale last night. And then my sump pump kind of exploded on me. And I spent the next 6 hours fixing that along with unfreezing my pipes outside. So I did get a chance to watch all The Walking Dead. So I got to catch up on that. Episode is still coming out, which it'll be out. A little bit of show note here. It'll be out Friday and not Saturday because Marvel Alliance and I swapped days for this week. So
So
I know
kind, Joe.
that's
You're so
yeah.
kind.
But how are you doing, Travis? You had school today?
I'm
No,
doing
yeah, you
well.
had work.
Yeah,
School.
first day back
Okay.
since COVID. I had a week off. You're in LA to go in. That's okay by me. I'm used to 2 years of distance, so it wasn't too bad. Uh, Besides that, this past weekend I watched all of Spider-Man: The New Animated Series with Neil
Nice.
Patrick Harris,
I
and
remember
I
that series.
I
That
did remember
was
that. Like I watched a couple episodes of that in TV back in the day. It was like in between for Spider-Man 1 and 2.
yeah.
And Joe, it ends off on such a low note. Like Spider-Man puts a girl in a coma and then gives up being Spider-Man, and that's how the episode and season ends.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the exact opposite of like Spider-Man's message
Yeah,
to always
exactly.
persevere. No, he gives up
Well,
being, he puts the Spider-Man suit in a case and throws it into the river. And
I
like,
mean,
yeah, I'm
here
done being
well,
Spider-Man. And that was it. And the
oh,
other
this is
annoying thing was
you're
what,
sticking on that. I'm sticking on the fact that he put somebody in the coma. The last time
well,
he did something with a girl like that, she snapped her neck. So
these two meta-human people with mind control basically made him see what he wasn't. Like, he thought he was fighting something else, a la Superman
oh,
and Justice,
I was
and he
about to
accidentally
say,
pushed her over. Yeah, it was wild. I was shocked. Neil Patrick Harris was the voice of Peter Parker,
yeah.
and the guy from I want to say Baywatch, maybe no, from 90210, Ian Ziering. He was Harry Osborn, and I don't have any sweet idea who Mary Jane was, but
Okay.
yeah, it was weird. It was interesting. I am going to talk about it for the Animation Nation at some point. Uh, Besides that, it was pretty enjoyable, relaxed weekend. Not much on the DC front, so I'm glad that we pushed the DCU predictions. We have some from a listener, Derpy, that we're going to talk about. I'm glad we pushed that to this week because it seems
Yeah.
like this opens up perfect timing, Joe.
Well, it's either gonna be this week or next week because next week we won't have Stargirl, so we'll have a little bit more time next week. But I am glad to be talking about it too. I know we
Yeah.
last couple weeks had been rough. We lost Kevin Conroy. Week before that, I think you had a long day of school, so it was good to push it. But we'll get to it here in just a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to get through the network policy. Before I do that too, I just want to say check out Ranger Alliance for a nice tribute to Jason David Frank, the Green
Yeah,
Ranger.
yeah. He
Uh,
passed away due to suicide this past weekend. Uh, I did a quick little thing on there, but end of the day, guys, if you are in trouble, if you're having these thoughts, please contact somebody. You are loved, you are appreciated. Just you're not going through it alone. And I know I can say that, and I'm just a nobody talking. And but I will listen. I may not be the best person, but I'm here. Travis is here. We're all like if you guys are going through something, I think the here in America in the United States, 988 is a suicide hotline. I don't know what it is there in Canada, but it's one of those things that reach out, talk to somebody. Somebody will listen.
I think just that's I agree with you 100%, Joe. I think for here it's you can text 686868
Okay.
or call I think it's 1833 456-4566 to reach out if you're not comfortable reaching out. But like Joe said, myself and Joe are here. Reach out. We gladly will put it ear easily. It sucks for that. It just sucks when something like that happens.
Yeah.
When just leave behind so many people just wishing they could help. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Howdy.
Howdy. So yeah, check Ranger Alliance out. They put out an episode today for that. So I just wanted to say that before I got into the network plugs because I don't go into the episodes anymore. That's not what I do. Okay. We are part of the Geek Elf Alliance with 8 shows in total. On Mondays is Ranger Alliance, and that rotates bi-weekly with Slice of Film. On Tuesdays is DC Alliance. On Wednesdays, no longer is Superhero Discussions. That show is gone, taken, thrown into the cobwebs, into the storage for now, because I wanted a name more aptly about what we're talking about. So from now on Wednesdays, you'll be listening to the Animation Nation. So Rick and Morty's back. Joe's going to get together with me tomorrow to talk about that. It was a fantastic episode.
Great
I can't
episode.
wait for that.
Great
So
episode.
check that out on Wednesday. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance. On Fridays is Marvel Alliance. On Saturdays, bi-weekly as they walk through the multiverse. And Sundays monthly is World's Finest True Believers. DC Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Star Wars Alliance goes live Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 9-10 p.m. Eastern Time. All 3 of those shows also have their own podcast feed. Search Marvel Alliance, DC Alliance, or Star Wars Alliance if you just want Marvel content, DC content, or Star Wars content. But if you want all 8 shows on GUA, stay subscribed to GUA and your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically a tip jar, like we're doing, and you want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras. You get your ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. Myself and Joe last week got together finally and did Swamp Thing, and it was quite enjoyable. It was my first time watching it. I have already watched the trailer for the Return of the Swamp Thing.
We're a couple movies away from that.
Don't get ahead of yourself. It was in my YouTube suggestions, so I had to watch it. I couldn't not, and boy, it seems a little different. It seems a little different than what we talked about.
It's out there.
And I didn't know Heather Locklear was in it. So
yeah.
But if you want to hear our thoughts on the 1982 Swamp Thing, please go to Patreon. We also have Joe doing his Multiverse Minutes. He did 37 Days of Halloween. There's 37 Halloween movies that Joe talked about.
Yep.
Go check that out. We also have Clay doing his watches for the first time. Right now he's doing Game of Thrones. We have the Marvel Alliance guys doing their MCU rewatch. We also have Katie watching Star Wars comics with her husband. We thank anyone and everyone that's a patron, but if you can take a quick 30 to 60 seconds to rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice, that would be greatly appreciated. It helps us be found by new people. That's always a good thing.
Yep.
Joe, I think that's everything. We have a couple people in the chat on the game. Suicide is easily one of the biggest killers in men, over 30 people. Please seek help. Great point there on the game. And Darius, love you guys. Apologies, I'm really late. Hope y'all have been enjoying DC TV, especially Titan Season 4. I'm hoping they don't drag out Brother Blood Transformation, though I have some theories when y'all there. We're almost at that. We're going to talk about, it'll be our second thing that we talk about tonight. So Darius, stay with us for that.
Darius, I gave that face because the first couple episodes weren't the greatest.
This next episode was...
we were talking offline earlier, like, this one surprised us. So.
Yeah, we don't go in and hate him, and I really enjoyed that episode, but we'll get to that in a little bit, obviously. And S-Bob says at some point I'll get to that Man Thing movie. You will enjoy it, S-Bob. You'll enjoy the 1982 one, the Swamp Thing. He put Man Thing there,
but here's the thing: there is a Man Thing movie.
Yes, but
that's why I'm like, I didn't think that was done by Craven.
Wes Craven did Swamp Thing, so I think that's what he meant by his doing Wes Craven rewatch. But you'll enjoy that. There's a lot of Wes Craven elements to the Swamp Thing. We talked about that quite a bit. Okay, Joe, let's get into it with the first topic, which basically James Gunn revealed that DC Studios, they're going to make their presentation to Warner Brothers Discovery for their long-term plans by January 2023. The Rap Insider put out a little thing basically saying Superman wasn't going to happen for sure now, which is funny because I just went down 3 days before that on their very same thing, talking about Superman's productions way further along than people know. So it was funny to see the 3 days difference in their in their putting out of stories.
I mean,
Uh,
I hope that it's all just conjecture right now. Like, I hope there actually is something going on. Like, they're not that like the movie is currently being filmed, but that their script is written and they're trying to find the right people to do it. But I don't know.
but anyway, in that story, the rap said that in the next 2 months, James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to present a long range plan to WBD. And James Gunn commented on that and said, "Yeah, it's true," to the Warner Brothers Discovery team. So that got us to thinking, and it really went with Derpy's sent us in something 2 weeks ago. We talked about it,
Yeah.
basically outlining what he thought his first 5 movies for the DC universe should be. That kind of inspired myself and Joe to come up with what we think should start off with DCU as well. So I'm going to read Derpy's first. Uh,
Before you get too far, Derpy's is all new. Like, he's basically
yeah,
saying reset it all. Yours, did you yours was continuing, right?
yeah,
Okay,
correct.
so mine was kind of continuing as well. So I just want
Yeah,
to make sure we're on the same page there.
yeah, I went there and Derpy gist, but he uses people from the past DC movies, so it's not all completely brand new. So I will get to some of his thoughts first, and
Yeah,
because
let's
he's
go through
sitting
his
in with
stuff
us.
first, then we can go through ours.
So first off, he started with his films with a solo Batman movie starring Affleck as Batman and Finn Woodruff as Dick Grayson.
Should be Wolfhard,
He said
isn't it?
Woldford, sorry. And then Night on the Job sort of movie, mostly set in Arkham Asylum. Villains Deathstroke and Jim Gordon is played by Bryan Cranston, and Barbara Gordon is introduced, and she's a main character after she's introduced to the. She's key to the plot.
My only gripe with this one is when he sent that note, and I believe it's Wolfhard, not
Yeah.
Wolford.
Okay. Sorry.
'Cause he's referring to Stranger Things kid.
Okay.
Um, my only gripe with this one is his idea, like the women he had chosen for Barbara Gordon, all were not anywhere close to age of
There was
Wolfhard,
three choices at
and
that point, so
it's
that's
just
why I left it out.
that one was like, no, I can't see that. But also,
Well, he
my
said in the
well,
Barbara
my
Gordon, if we could choose the
yeah,
Barbara
sure,
Gordon as well. Yeah.
but all three that he had chosen, like I wouldn't
Yeah.
choose any of them. And off the top of my head, I can't remember who they were, but they all were too old.
Karen Gillan was one of
Yeah,
them.
with
Yeah.
okay, and like her and Finn Wolfhard, no, they're nowhere near age, the close to age. Not that it matters
Yeah.
because it's all acting, but I would have known that it would have been weird to me. But also, he had Barbara Gordon as her being the key player in the movie. Great. My gripe was her basically being at Arkham because the movie was gonna be like an Arkham Asylum set
I could
movie.
see her visiting her father there for something and then
But
everything get
it's
locked
not a
down.
take your daughter to the mental
No,
asylum thing.
no,
It's
she
like
I didn't I he's not taking her. She knows that he's there doing something and she has to go get something from
I
him.
don't know.
Like
It
you
just
could
sounded weird.
accidentally put her in that line of fire. I can understand it, but I also understand your gripe as well about that because it's kind of like, oh, we hear how lucky it is that she's stuck in here to be this main
Yeah,
plot point.
she basically becomes Oracle before she becomes Oracle,
What I
which
did
is
like
cool.
what I did like that he said about this solo Batman film was that it would open with in the style of Batman the Animated Series, like a shot by shot, like homage to the opening of Batman the Animated Series. Which you know what I think that could look really cool depending on how it's done. Maybe it might be more for Matt Reeves, the Batman type thing, rather than
I'm not for the shot for shot remake of it though. Like, you could
or
people on YouTube do that
inspiration.
and it looks
Yeah.
great. Inspiration, sure, but not a shot for shot. That's just me.
Yep. That's not everyone's gonna like everyone's thoughts on films. I'm kind of with you on that one, to be honest with you, Joe.
No, but
Si
it's the idea is good. I like the idea, especially with him having Deathstroke as a villain, because looking at your notes and my notes, uh
Yeah, I think that's
Deathstroke,
part of the reason why we really enjoy Titans as well.
yeah, like Deathstroke was amazing. Although this episode, anyway, we'll get to that.
So the second film is a solo Superman film. Henry Cavill, Amy Adams as Lois, but they don't know each other. That is something that I think I have a bit of issue with, and I think you do as well. He
A
said
little bit.
he wants to be inspired by the '70s film and the '40s cartoon. Lex Luthor is villain running for president. Miles Teller's Flash will be introduced in this film as well and help Supes take down Lex. And post-credit scene of Batman investigating destroyed lab, which I don't hate you doing a post-credit scene after Batman's film, putting Batman in that
That
instead of having
works.
him
Like,
in Superman. That really
yeah,
works.
that one works. I like that. The 40s film inspiration mixed in with the 40s or the 70s film mixed in with the 40s cartoon. It could work, but I don't think it'd work as well as you would hope. Like, if done correctly and done properly, I think you could really have hit some gold there. But I don't. The way that the universe has been set up, it'd be hard to do that and pull it off.
Mm,
I want it to look real and not look like Dick Tracy.
agreed. The next film he has is Aquaman. Jason Momoa returns with the villain being Black Manta and the tone of the movie being like the cartoon but more modern. Uh, and then the closing film will be which I thought this was, just, I don't think you need to worry about it that much, but recast the closing of the film will be recast, a funny scene recasting Mira, which
Yeah,
that doesn't matter to me if
yeah.
she's Mira or
She's
not
probably gonna be dead after
after this
what Lost
film.
Kingdom anyway. So
And the final film, which,
are we? Hold on. Are we in agreement? Like, is that like pretty much the
that's what I
everybody's
assume
thought
too,
that
is that
like
she's going
they're
to
gonna kill
die
Mira off?
with the kid, like her somehow, like kind of like they'll say the kid, but not Mira. But I don't know though.
Okay,
Maybe they
I don't
won't.
know.
I have no idea.
We'll get into that. We'll talk about that more when Aquaman is getting closer.
There you go. And the final film for him is Justice League, Secret Origins type film,
Which
which, you know what,
I'm all for.
I'm
I
out
like
for as
that.
well. I really love that, and you could do it, and it does set up quite well.
Yeah,
Like we were complaining. Well, I was complaining about for the review of the DC League of Superheroes, is that a lot of the animated Justice League has been formed, done, like things have been done
off screen.
off screen,
Yeah.
whereas in Secret Origins at the end you already had to establish that they're forming a team. Batman put the Watchtower in that they can stay at, and
Well, and
that's it.
that was also one of the good things about the New 52 animated verse they did. The first movie after Flashpoint was War. It was
Yeah,
Justice League meeting and forming and becoming a group.
eh,
So I understand your frustration on the new animated universe and it not being the Justice League forming outside of it. But
yeah.
yeah,
It's just what can you do?
exactly.
But Derpy, those are some great ideas. We're fully on board with the Secret Origins
Definitely.
Justice League at the end there. Before we get into myself and Joe's selections, we're going to take our first ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad support network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe. You want me to go with mine first, and then you go yours, because I don't know yours, but you got to see mine.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because
show notes.
I did mine on paper. Sorry,
Smart
literally like
smart man. Because
Well,
I don't know.
I was also at work, and I didn't want to. I was too busy watching everything I had to watch for today, so I didn't really have time until about a half hour ago to figure
Well,
this
it only
out.
took me 10 minutes because
Yeah,
I'm going to
it
be
took.
honest with you. I think you like me do think about this kind of stuff from time to time anyway. Like, what would I?
Funny enough, about 2.5 years ago, this is actually right around the time I met Clay officially on Fanboy Comics podcast, his old podcast. Myself, Chris, and another podcaster, Jonathan. I don't remember where he was from though. So, Jonathan, if you ever hear this, I apologize. He proposed the idea of, hey, so HBO Max just bought, Warner Brothers or whatever. HBO Max was formed,
Yeah.
and what would be the possibility of the DCEU? And so ultimately, I still have my notes from that. You can kind of see
Nice.
them. because I don't throw anything away, sadly. So
That's
I
not
just
a
kind
bad thing.
of, but we did a whole like 2 hour podcast, and we all went around and was talking our thoughts on possible continuations of the universe then. Um, so I picked some stuff. I cherry picked some stuff out of that.
That's pretty good,
Uh,
actually. I would go back to that if I were you.
I did just for a couple things. And I'll talk about it when we get to it. So, do you want to do one for one?
One for one is
Okay,
fine,
let's do
and
that.
the start of mine, I would do a solo Superman film with Henry Cavill, obviously as
Hmm.
Superman, and it would be Brainiac as the villain. That's part, and obviously I would still have Lex as around as well.
So
Uh,
yes, definitely. I'm actually right there with you.
that's
Nice.
fun. Freeze as last time. Got some nice.
I'm right there with you. I also have a Superman film as my first one, but I went with either Metallo or Conduit.
Ooh,
Conduit. I don't know if you know who Conduit is. He is a villain that comes from Smallville, um, and he kind of got infused with Kryptonite as well. This is his first appearance, the death of Clark Kent. This came out after Superman came back to life, and he kind of he tortured Clark, and he thought he tortured the Kents, tortured Lois, tortured every element of Clark's life, and ultimately was trying to kill Superman. These are both villains that are infused with kryptonite. So Superman has a weakness to him, but it's still be a fun. I think it'd be a fun movie to see.
he was featured in Man of Steel, not like he was the character that pushed Clark down and was taunting him. Uh,
Was he?
Conduit, as known as Kenny Braverman.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was in both the
that was
DC
Kenny.
animated universe, yes,
Oh
and
snap!
yeah, that's pretty cool actually.
Oh, I
Just
didn't even think
noticing
about. Holy Okay,
he was in the Superman the animated series as well. There's a picture
was
of
he?
him here.
Nice.
Yes, so it's kind of cool, and
All
obviously
right,
the
so yeah,
two
I mean,
different
he's
comic
a character.
appearances.
Obviously, I don't remember,
Well, it's
but
kind of cool, Joe, that he comes, like you said, he comes from Smallville. That would be an interesting grounded type of character.
exactly.
My issue that I think they might have with that is just his costume kind of looks like you'd have to change his costume up a little bit,
Oh yeah, no, his costume looks very like
a little blood sporty. So
for the
that's
most
just
part.
yeah.
I
So
actually my first introduction to him was the back in 95 or 96. They actually put out some Superman toys, and I actually had a Conduit action figure. I had no idea who the guy was. I thought he was a
nice.
superhero. And so when I play with my action figures, it's like, oh yeah, they're all superhero stuff. Then I found out he's a villain. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
So Chris says I want to see Brainiac too. I don't know how we haven't got him yet. We
We
did get
would have
him.
had him in '93. He
He
was so close in the Nick Cage
he
'93 one.
was fantastic in Krypton.
Yes, he was.
Fantastic. So I
He was
implore
really
people to
cool,
go
and
check that out.
I really liked him. I mean, I was Brainiac 5 in Supergirl, but you know,
It
hey,
was
who knows?
good for a little
Who
bit
knows?
in being.
Maybe we'll see a Brainiac in movies here soon. Who knows?
Well, we will in the animated Legion of Superheroes
No,
soon
I meant
enough.
live action.
Yeah,
May-
hopefully, Joe.
Maybe we'll see
Hopefully.
him in live action soon. I'm
My
gonna keep my
second
fingers crossed.
my second pick for films would be for Wonder Woman 3, and it pick up right after on the game. We're not going that deep into anybody because as the MCU goes, we'll let Gunn and Safran decide who writes and directs these movies. We're just the idea men behind this.
I,
Uh, I think
not great
Derpy
ideas.
picked. I think Derpy picked directors and writers in that too. So
He did.
yeah. So
Yeah.
apologies to Derpy for that, but we were going to go a little lower on that. Yeah. So mine would be continuing on from Zack Snyder's Justice League for Wonder Woman, where you have her looking out, and as far as she knows, what she was told by Steppenwolf is that her mother's dead and her people are dead, and she doesn't know how to get back to the island. So part of this film could be her trying to get back to the island. Maybe that's why she'd have to go see Linda Carter's Amazon character that's
Yeah, I
it.
can't remember what she was called.
That's
Yeah.
off the island as well. So maybe she has to visit her to figure out her way back. And when she gets there, have her fight some of the Greek gods. Would be quite nice. So,
Yeah, I
or
like
even
that one.
Cersei. So that would be mine. Just because I think that's one of the more powerful images we get of Wonder Woman is her standing there with the
With
arrow
the arrow.
that her people shot her to warn her, but not knowing how to get back and if any of them are safe because Steppenwolf came in, stole the box, and last thing he told
Right.
her was that her mother was dead.
Yeah, he decimated the whole island. Yeah.
So,
My next one is a solo Batman film.
nice.
Uh, right there with Derpy. I want Deathstroke to be the villain, just because it was promised years ago, and then
You want that? You want
I
that
want
solo
that.
Batflick?
Batman and Deathstroke fighting each other is just amazing. Anytime we get it, Affleck and Joe Manganiello fighting each other, man, I would just thrive for that because Deathstroke is meticulous. You know he's going to tear. It'll be a movie where he is tearing Batman down beat for beat until the very end, until the final battle. Like
Look at
it's
that
just
cut
going to be amazing.
scene in the Arkham games, Joe. The one where he fights Deathstroke. Like that's
I
all
don't think I got
over.
that far.
That Joe is on YouTube. It's just a
Is
4 minute
it?
clip,
Is
and
it second game?
I think it's the second game.
Yeah,
Yes,
I didn't beat the second game.
and he is. If you, I'll send it to you later. You'll watch it. It's just 4 minutes of that, and it's fantastic. The fight scene, and I think Jay Oliva did say that like they watched that when they were doing Ben Affleck's Batman. So
What we could have had if
what we could
Joss
have
Whedon
had.
hadn't showed up.
That's a great idea though, Joe. I like that. My next film would be a Deathstroke solo film, which goes off of what you just said. It's from Arkham Origins. Thank you there, Chris. That's what I thought it was.
Thank
Maybe
you.
that's the third film, I think.
That's
Third
the
game?
that's the third game.
Third, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't play that one either.
Yeah. So the assassin's going after Batman. Yeah, I would love to see a Deathstroke solo film showing us how he became Deathstroke because we just see him. You can do such a cheap film showing that and like what happens after he is tossed away by Secret Service that he was part of for the Australian government, and then
Yep.
go from there. So I think that could be a cheap, really good film that you could make.
I like it. My next one is a Zatanna and Constantine movie, like the both of them together, because they obviously great chemistry. The main villain will be some demon, because why not? It's always a demon going after Constantine for whatever reason. But this will be a way to introduce a lot of the magic side of things. You know, obviously Zatanna and Constantine, Blue Devil, which we saw in the Swamp Thing TV show.
Yes,
We could have actually played more with that. The demon himself, Etrigan, have him show up because he could be their inside man, because why not? They're gonna go to hell. Makes sense, I guess.
He's a great character in
I
animation,
love
both
Etrigan,
in
man. Like,
Justice
he is
League,
great.
in the DCAU, and in the DCAMU.
Yeah.
Because he was great in the Justice League Dark and the Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. At the end there,
so that's Zatanna Constantine. Plus, I just want to see another live action Zatanna.
That's a good call, Joe.
Yeah.
My fourth film would be a Black Canary and Green Arrow film. I'd love to see Journey Smollett reprise her role.
Yes, 100%.
I would pick a new Green Arrow. I think it would be really
You don't
cool.
want what's his name from Sons of Anarchy?
No, we're cool with that. We're also cool. We don't need Arrow, Stephen Amell coming back either. We don't need that. You can just go with somebody new.
The problem with don't get me wrong, Stephen Amell was great as Arrow, but
that's not the Green Arrow you want in this.
Correct.
DC
You can't bring him into the movies. I know when Flash was introduced and he made a big stink about not having Grant Gustin, which I understand, but at that point, separating TV and movies was
his thing was more thing. That he just the second episode just aired, and you put this out. You could have waited a few more weeks to give him a bit more time to bask in the
actual Flash glory. Yeah.
So,
but we were worried, and then we had nothing for however many years. So I don't think we really needed to worry. Grant Gustin is an amazing Flash.
He got to bask in the glory of being the Flash.
Exactly.
For a while.
Actually, you know what? I'm fine with him if he takes over now. Ezra Miller has had some issues, so let's go with Grant Gustin.
I'm gonna wait on that one.
Good
Actually,
call.
sounds like someone who didn't watch all the episodes of The
Nope,
Flash.
I stopped.
Okay.
So my next one is a blue and gold
Ooh.
Booster Gold and Blue Beetle because I think those two, I love those two. They'd be a great combination of characters. You know, the future and the tech guy.
Do
Yes,
you
sir.
care? Do you carry on from Blue Beetle that we're getting in August of next year, or are you
But see, that's
doing
the thing. I
older
mean,
Ted Core Blue Beetle?
I want Ted Cord,
Okay.
but doesn't mean we can't have Jaime, come in at some point.
Okay.
But at the same time, this could be them forming either like the Justice League International or Justice League Europe because they went by both names. You know, you could introduce Fire and Ice, Big Barda, Mr. Miracle, basically all of that Justice League team. Some issues, maybe. Um, it's I don't know. I don't know. That's just my thought. You could have a lot going on there, and I would love to see it happen.
Hello,
Yes,
Kyle.
yes, we would too, Kyle.
That was
Definitely.
one of my choices for the films.
No, I hit the wrong one. Sorry, this one. Oh no, I missed it. Yes,
Yeah,
Derpy, we talked about it.
you got
You'll
to
have to
rewind
listen
a little
back.
bit.
I'm
You
sorry,
got to
dude.
rewind a little bit. That's all. Catch up to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my final film would be a Justice Society film, the Justice Society, going from origin to present day, and then you could set up by the end of that film the big, uh, threat that's coming, and you could incorporate that the Justice
Would you?
Society into the Justice League in a future film down the line.
Are you wanting Pierce Brosnan's Doctor Fate?
I want him for the past,
Yeah, yeah, for the
the
past.
showing
Yeah.
them forming and showing them maybe doing a first mission and something like that. And
Okay.
then no, I want maybe someone new for Doctor Fate in the present day. Maybe
Okay.
that'll be part of them trying to figure out who's going to replace him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which again, I think we talked about during the Black Adam review. His nephew, and now I had it in my head a second ago. Crap. There's a new Doctor Fate in the comics. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's gonna bug me. Whoops.
oh,
Um,
your final one, Joe.
my final one. So I went with a spy side. So
Ooh.
either Checkmate or Spiral, and I know there's a bunch of other ones in the DC universe that are out there, but Checkmate is one that stuck out to me because they they were, legit spy corporation that actually did help the heroes at times until Maxwell Lord took it over and everything that happened there, him killing Blue Beetle and getting the OMAC project up and running and just all of that. So, but yeah. So I like the spy angle, and that could hop into another corner of the DC universe that could become something later. Thank you. Yes, Khalid. Thank you, S Bubs. Oh, you're always there for the win, my
He's
dude.
in the Young Justice as well, actually.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yes.
Um. So yeah, that's my one. Also, I think you have in the notes the Justice League movie down the line. Same
Yeah.
right there.
Derpy saying the Avatar trailer is coming out sometime tonight. I didn't see the first one. I don't know if I'll
Same.
see
I
the
haven't.
second
I
one.
don't. I don't care. I'm sorry, but I
And
don't care.
Kyle says I think they need to start making Black Adam more of an antagonist in future films and not a starring role.
I I think in a Shazam, when they do meet up in a Shazam movie or crossover movie, whatever you want to call it, he will be the antagonist, but
He
it'll be
needs to be. You're
more.
right, Kyle.
He'll switch. It'll be
Let's just hope that well, at the very
co-lead.
least, he doesn't like. We don't need to kill. We can keep him. Just put him back in Kandak and keep
Exactly.
him
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Maybe even some sort of magical reason he can't leave. So
Well, yeah. Superman's stopping him.
those are some pretty good ideas, Joe.
Yeah, those are good too. Obviously,
I'm really curious to see what James Gunn does, and I know we'll get that rolled out at some point.
eventually.
We have we'll do a Black Adam box office update before we take our next ad break. Black Adam overseas gross 5.1 million on the fifth weekend, also holding well with a negative 46.9% drop from last weekend for a 209.2 million international. total, and in 157 million in US and Canada. So it has 366.2 million global at the box office, and Japan joins on December 2nd, eyeing a 395 to 405 global run. That was via Luis Fernando. It's
This
coming out digitally tomorrow, I think. You can
was it
purchase it.
tomorrow? I thought it was next week.
Nope, I think it might have changed tomorrow. I know it's out
Okay.
already on the Flixster. So
And then it's on DVD and Blu-ray in like the week in a few weeks. But yeah,
and that's something on the game I thought as well, because Black Adam is just basically getting close to what Shazam made after 5 weekends. Shazam only had 3 weekends because it was sandwiched between Captain Marvel and
Endgame.
Avengers Endgame. So it definitely for the cheaper that they made it. That's not a great performance in the box office for Black Adam. Chris
Yeah.
just solves concept sells. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
So yeah,
I'm looking forward to watch this again. I really wish I could have watched it in theaters, but I didn't get a chance to. I watch it in theaters again. Sorry.
I started watching about 20 minutes before we went online, if I'm being honest with you.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But no, I'll when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray, I'll get the Steelbook to add to my Steelbook collection.
Same.
I'll watch it again on HBO Max when it gets actually. If I get a Steelbook, it'll be digital, so I'll have it digital. Like I will watch it again. I enjoyed the movie enough that I do want to keep watching it. And I want the universe to continue. Sucks that it's not doing the best, but what can you do? You had Black Panther 3 weeks after this release, and
the guy above
you
you, I'd watch it just for that over and
True,
over and over
yes.
again, because I
Because
thought
he did
Dr.
an
Fate
amazing
was
job.
fantastic. So I'm all in on JSA, so that S-Bubs, that usually happens. S-Bub says that Super Sons movie leaked the month before it officially. That usually happens with animated films. It tends to. I'm not sure why, but it tends to happen a lot on that side. So, Joe, let's take our second ad break of the evening. Listeners, for an ad support network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe, we've got some shows to start talking about.
Yes, sir.
We have Titans and Stargirl. Titans season 4, episode 4, Super Mart. So, yeah, what'd you think about this episode, Joe?
We could bring up. Oops, here we go. Bring up, where is it at? Darius's comment here. Show, come on. I agree to an extent, but the acting by everyone continues to carry the series easily. The writing lets the entire series down.
Agree.
Yes, 100%. The actors are great.
I think Joe accidentally took himself out of the broadcast there, but I'm sure he'll come back in a second. And I have to agree that
what the heck happened? No,
I just roll with the punches there.
That's my bad. No, the acting's great. Costumes are great. Writing sucks. Just you can't get around it. This episode though, a lot actually happened.
And some callbacks.
A few, yes, yeah, and that's kind of what I mean. Like they realize that the Sebastian is not, I don't want to say in league, but these people watching him are in league with Trigon, and so they go back to where it all started for them. They go back to the old cult place, which is now a supermarket. So that was kind of fun. We do see stuff from season 1.
While all this is going on too, Mother Mayhem is watching them
and letting it happen. Yeah,
letting it happen because she wants Sebastian to figure out like his origin, which essentially he was a failed version of Raven, because the cult was waiting for a woman to give birth to a baby girl.
Yep.
And Mother Mayhem gives birth to Sebastian, and that's not what they're looking for, so they take her away. But he's essentially a sibling of Raven. They both have the same mark, and the
they're
prophecy is that he's going to have the same power of Trigon. So
they're half siblings.
I gotta say that I did like how they laid that out. It made sense, and it's
Yes.
nice how they had sort of a bond together,
Well,
Raven and
because she
Sebastian.
saw what had been happening to him and been like she's been through this. She knows Trigon is a terrible person, and now this is her reaching out to Sebastian to be like, "Hey, you're not alone." Because even when they get locked up when he gets locked up at Star Labs, she's like, "Hey, is there room for one more? Like, we can talk."
Yeah.
She realizes that he's in a tough spot, and she wants to help him.
Agreed. And Darius says, "I love how they're bringing things full circle. The Church of Blood have been there since season one, and in the comics, they've always worshipped Trigon and wanted Raven to
Yep,
marry Brother Blood.
I
And you
think I
can see
mentioned
that
that at one point.
you could see down the line now, and it would make sense that Brother Blood would try to go after Raven when he becomes Brother Blood, and you can see him actually not hurting Raven just because of how extra nice she has been to
Correct.
him compared to everyone else. So that kind of stuff would work down the line.
I
I
know,
didn't.
Darius, you had brought up that you were hoping that the transition to Brother Blood isn't drawn out, but the sixth episode is um literally called Brother Blood. So
So,
they're
but
gonna draw it out until the very end of the sixth episode. I guarantee
which
it.
isn't the worst thing because it's broken up
It's
into
not
two sections of six, so you
exactly.
can
We're gonna get
get a
another six in
full.
what, January or February?
I think, but sometime in January.
Okay,
Don't really like the twist if it says Brother Blood is Trigon's son. That's a change from source material, but it
it
could
is.
work.
It really
Yes,
is.
it's an interesting way to go, Joe, but it is a way to tie everything together because of what they did in season one broke out Mother Mayhem
Yep. And so
and
then she was
set up,
rebuilding her power, and
which
so
took a
it.
while,
Yep.
and is also also cool because the prophecy is still going on for Coriander, and she's tied into
Yeah,
this as well.
and
And
that
you
was
got
one
that
thing.
whole book that was kind of interesting to me as well.
Yeah, the book
That
was
didn't.
cool. The and I mentioned that I think last week, week before, how she had a new what's the word, destiny every single season.
Yeah.
But like, not only now, it actually seems like her destinies actually were everything was leading to this.
Yes.
So yes, while the first three episodes of the season have been wonky and bad with the writing, this one I feel like they finally got it right. Like
Same. And
this was a good episode, and
the
I
action from the other three kind of like kept you going along
yeah,
anyway.
I
It, you
really
know.
enjoyed that Jinx is kind of part of the team now.
Yeah,
Like
and I
that's kind
love
of
how
fun.
the other team members are shit like, "Oh, can't believe we did. How did we get along without her?" And she's constantly picking at Superboy about magic, and you
Which
can
I
tell it's
think,
really annoying him.
uh
And
huh.
I think he's been
So,
possessed.
oh yeah, I'll say. Speaking of, we already know because of the trailers that he's going to have like a dark side come out of him. Now we know why, because
Yes,
Mother Mayhem, this magical sword that Deathstroke had, because we got zombie
dagger.
Deathstroke.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
she could basically take control of people that were dead.
which was really so.
Ambiguous. It didn't explain it at all. Like,
Yes, that was
for all the
something I
props
didn't
we have to
like.
give them, for all the props we have to give them, we have to give them a little bit of crap because I don't understand anything unless she explains later on down the road or
Which I We'll
Brother Blood
see.
can have access to this stuff as well. And then we find out that would be okay if you're holding it till the end. But I don't know how she was able to bring Deathstroke back
Well,
and
not just
use him.
Deathstroke, but like all the people in the mart, in the supermart, were allegedly dead. All the workers, and but they still had cognitive abilities.
Yeah,
You
they were
know,
essentially zombies.
um,
There says, to be fair, Mother Mayhem and Brother Blood is a mantle. Basically, some of them have. Yeah, I do know that. Yeah,
so yeah,
their
yes.
mantles interchangeable there.
But because what was it when the zombies that they were calling them start to
Yeah,
attack them, and Starfire does her like blue fire, and you see, especially that lead one, you see her get hit, and she's looking around like, all right, I'm good, and then goes to attack. Like, what?
I did like Jinx' comment of like, "Oh, bravo! Would you give them? Would you help them with their skincare?" I thought that was good, and her power of stopping everything, it was great. It was
Yeah,
Fairly, it
Her
was greatly used here.
her them doing the switcheroo with zombie Deathstroke, that was fun.
That was
Uh,
great as well. I did
Makes
enjoy
sense.
that. I thought
Yeah.
that made me laugh. So it was a great episode, Joe. Especially compared, it was my favorite of the season so far.
Same. Agreed.
Say
Yeah, because these
you got that Deathstroke callback, which was really cool, where he fought multiple people, including Superboy. And I just wonder what's going to happen now. Is Superboy going to turn on these? I'm really
well, I
scared
mean,
of.
we're pretty sure he got possessed.
Yeah,
He coughed up a snake and he's acting a little weird. So I mean, I
yeah,
guarantee
yeah,
it's gonna take a minute, but Mother Mayhem will get control of Superboy.
and when he saw Snake before, he instantly burned it. And we didn't get that here, so I
No.
am of the agreement that he is taken over. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes, Joe. We get an episode on 24th and an episode on the 1st.
Yep.
Oh, so nice! What a Christmas! What a birthday gift! On a couple days before my birthday, I get a new episode of Titans.
Yay.
Yay!
What you got there?
Okay, let's get into uh, Stargirl now, Joe.
Well, before we go there,
Episode.
hopefully the writing can keep up this decent storyline we have and continue to keep them all together. Agreed, Darius. Agreed, but I'm not holding my breath. I'll be honest.
Yeah, although like this is a step in the right direction, so we'll
Yeah.
continue. Let's hope next week is just as good as this week. Joe, we have a couple episodes left of Stargirl. We have 2 episodes left
Yeah.
after this current one that we're going to talk about, Chapter 11, The Haunting. Uh,
This episode, it was kind of a know nothing episode. We got the reaction from Artemis finding out that her parents were murdered. We get the reaction from everybody with Jordan coming back, officially coming back, and you see because it's Barbara gets the call from Pat.
her place where she works.
Well, yeah, gets the call from Pat while she's at work, finding out that the Crocs are dead, and so she's devastated because her friend Paula is gone, and then she walks into, here's Jordan back. Like her world just got rocked twice, and she put it together really quick that he was the one that killed them. But the crux of the episode is Jordan wants to side with Courtney.
Yes, or that's what he's saying. Anyway.
That's what he's saying. But Starman doesn't want anything to do with it.
Well, in Starman's defense, the last time he saw him, he killed him. He put him in the ground. Luckily, like the staff kept him alive, but the ISA destroyed.
That's what they said.
The JSA. Yeah, that's something I'm still wondering if he's going to come back on in the next episode or two. That
well, and I mean, with them introducing Ultra Humanite and the explanation that they gave about how he kind of cheated death and kept putting his brain in other people's. I'm wondering if this is just an experiment that you said something like Dragon King could have brought him back. Maybe Ultra Humanite brought him back. Like,
could very well
who knows?
And because the next episode is titled the last will and testament of Sylvester Pendleton, so maybe we might get some.
We're getting some answers there, definitely.
He's not happy about this at all. He basically goes to Courtney and asks her if he can take him out, and we're kind of left wondering what's going to happen there. I did enjoy, like you said, Artemis feeling like going through the pain of losing. Like the actress who portrays this character did a great job in this episode, especially that final scene
where Barbara shows up at the house and is comforting her. That was powerful. I was kind of like feeling that.
Same, Joe. I was like, damn. And then when they discovered the Crocs too was pretty, because Artemis was there and Beth notices with the goggles that is part of people. Yeah,
but that's kind of what I said last week though. Like the Crocs, their story has grown. Like they have grown as characters to the point where you actually cared for them. And then when they got killed off, I'm like, oh, like it hurt. It sucked.
Darius, I don't want to give too much of spoilers here, but I would watch the. I would be sure to pay special attention to the back half of Titans episodes. If you like Bree's Stargirl, if you like Breck Stargirl, because that's all I'll say. You might not be as deep into this
But we
information stuff as
talked
me.
about it in the other episode.
Yeah, but he may have just found the show this week or last week. So I just
That's
want
true.
to,
That's true.
yeah. So just pay attention if you like Stargirl, because these couple episodes might not be the last time we
Yeah,
see
Darius, you're right. Breck has been doing an amazing job. She was the perfect casting for
casting.
this character. I would
Even
love
if
for this show to continue on, but
even
I
if
would
not,
somewhere.
give me Stargirl in the JSA as another member that comes in
Yeah,
that Justice
there
Society
you
film
go.
that I was talking about. I
Yeah,
would love to see more of that character.
because we saw Stargirl in Smallville.
Yeah,
She was in Legends, right?
one or two
Or was
episodes
it
of Legend.
Arrow?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
just
she
so
was
like
in that.
she Stargirl has been around.
Yeah.
Um, but this interpretation, I think, is the better one because it's putting her in high school. It's putting her in the setting that she has been well known for in the comics.
So I got to ask you now, what do you think about Cameron and
Cameron,
the way that he flip flops so much? He's all over the place in this episode. And
that is an issue I didn't like.
if Courtney is as nice as you think, why does she try to stop your father? Like, what, you got to dive deeper, man. You're gonna have to, because he's out
I
for revenge. The way he killed the Crocs, he's out for revenge. There was no self defense in that. That was his excuse.
but no, it
And
was but he had a mask on and they attacked him because they didn't know.
oh, the way that Cameron peddles the same terrible excuses, I'm like, oh my god, dude, just
Well, it's
stop.
his dad. He
Yeah,
idolized his dad. Yeah, no, it's gonna there's gonna be a falling out.
yeah.
There has to be. And if it's
Either
the
with
series,
Cameron, with
oh
Courtney, or
yeah,
with
well
Cameron
both,
and his
both.
father.
I think obviously Cameron's gonna side with his dad 100%, even though
I
his
don't know if it's
dad.
100. I don't know if it's a 100%
I think it
guarantee,
is because
especially if he was.
the only reason he went back to Courtney was because his dad said that like we need to team up with them. Like
Yeah,
they
but
are right.
now if he accidentally overhears his father saying like, "Yeah, I killed the Crocs. I enjoyed them. They turned their back on us and tried to live normal lives."
Yeah, but who's he gonna
Maybe
say?
that. I
He's
don't
not gonna
know,
say
Joe. I'm just saying there's
his parents.
possibilities. I'm just saying there's
They're,
possibility of the bubble being burst for him there. But I think you're right. Of if it's going to happen, I think he's going to side with his father.
yeah, I don't know.
Uh,
I hope not. Like I would love to see Cameron and Courtney like have a future together, but we also didn't have Rick this episode. You know,
No,
he
Rick's
was
gone off the deep
hiding.
end, and I don't. I'm really
Oh,
curious to see
and we also had oh crap, what's her name?
Sydney.
Cindy. Yeah, coming in and teaming up with Mike and Hakeem.
And returning to the team as
Yeah.
well, it
So
basically now we know that it wasn't Sydney at all. So that's a good thing, I think, that you got that
yeah.
out of the way.
I
Uh,
am looking forward to the like the last episode.
yeah.
It's gonna be huge.
Now I don't hate as much. We know now, like Jordan has the Ultra Humanite. That is part of
Yes.
his plan. So I'm really interested to see how this is gonna go, Joe.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, let's get into our DC news roundup before we get out of here with our Smallville retro recap. Just that there's only a couple news items, Joe.
Yeah.
James Gunn calling out BS scoopers, which we're both here for. Uh,
Oh yeah.
replying to a fan who asked about leaked information pertaining to the future of Batman. Gunn said, "Anyone who says they know anything is bullshitting. Anyone who says they know anything about anything in the future of DCU is bullshitting, because right now that's truly only me and Peter, and maybe his wife. I'm sure he let her know hardcore a couple of things. You might be in this, just the FYI."
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
And there's new casting news for the Batman HBO Max spinoff, Penguin. So Illuminati reported that HBO Max The Penguin is currently looking to cast deep cut uh, comics slash Batman character Mike Stone. Joe, do you know much about Mike Stone?
No, I meant to look this up, and I didn't. So let's see if I can do a quick little Google search right now. Mike Stone.
Stone has won a comic
DCU.
appearance to date, being the focus of the 2015 Arkham Manor in-game. This issue centers on Stone as he tells a Joker-focused story working at Arkham Manor, a take on Gotham's iconic asylum set up within Wayne Manor. The one shot sees Stone reminisce about Joker's assault on the manor and night in which the Penguin hired gun turned Arkham employee goes toe to toe with the Clan Prince of Crime, punching him out when he's had enough of the bloodshed. Uh, with Arkham and the legacy surrounding the institution becoming such a big part of Batman's final act, it is unknown if Penguin's take on Stone will simply be muscle for Oz's growing criminal empire or an Arkham employee like he is in the comics.
Okay, that's a very deep cut.
Yeah, so I didn't know what this was, and I don't think the things that they took from this obviously is will Joker show up in the Penguin show? So that's the thing that they're trying to take from that Scoopers,
I
which
just,
that's quite a leap. That's quite a leap.
well, you gotta reach where you find what you can, I guess.
That's true. And Joe, finally, we got our Smallville retro recaps. The 19th episode, Crush. I was super excited to talk about this last week because I
Yep, and
watched
you realize
multiple. And yeah, I'm glad we're here because this was one of my favorite episodes of the season.
this was a good episode. Adam Brody, shows up in this one, and I vaguely remember him being in this episode, like being in the series. Obviously, this is before he goes off to the OC and becomes,
And before
star.
Gilmore Girls, this was before that as well. He
Was it
went
before
from
Gilmore Girls? I thought it was
yeah, he
around the
went
same time. Okay.
no, he went from this Gilmore Girls to I looked it up a little while ago.
Oh, well, okay. Mr. Hobby Potty
And
over here.
well, I really enjoyed the first season of the OC. It was kind of a thing that everyone talked about at my school when we
Oh,
came in.
okay.
So I
See,
had to catch up and watch it. I was like the 8th episode of me here watching sports and Spider-Man the animated series and stuff like that. And I came in and everyone was talking about who Seth was going to pick Summer and I was like, what are you guys talking about? And I was social
So
pariah, Joe. Social pariah.
I'm old and I didn't watch that because I was already out of high school at the time. And
Smart. Way to dodge that bullet. Way to dodge
smart.
that bullet.
That's just age.
Lucky, then. Lucky.
Okay.
That's smart. Lucky.
This was a fun episode. Seeing Clark get jealous and not realize he was jealous, and then seeing Lana get jealous, like, okay, interesting.
And Chloe get jealous. It was like a jealous circle.
Yeah.
Chloe was jealous at the start. I loved his powers in this show. The way they showed him using his telekinesis to move things and him drawing. That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
And Principal Quan, freaking dead.
Man.
Like
that. As soon as we saw his son show up, and once what was his name? Lucas? No, that wasn't right. Whatever his name was. Justin, thank you. Adam Brothers' character. Started talking about how the hit and run and somebody I just got a partial life play. I'm like, I remembered what happened now. I remember there was the son that did it.
Same.
Quan takes the blame. I did not remember him getting killed off.
Same. I didn't know that as well. I was shocked because I genuinely thought like Principal Quan would tell his son he has to do the right thing and blah blah blah. But no, Principal Quan was the one that covered it up, so he wouldn't tell his son to do the right thing.
No, he would not.
Did not. So honestly, I love what Tom Willing said, which was in the Tocqueville podcast, which was the last thing he noticed was Principal Quan being like, "Oh, finally, this is all over." Because of everything that's happened in the first year.
Which, because there is always somebody new. And heck, like what, 2 weeks ago, he found somebody covered in bees in a car.
Yes.
Like, he's probably ready for it to be done with that place.
The hothead, the student that was sucking the energy, the heat out of people and killing him. Yeah, so Principal Quan, R.I.P. to you on this one.
You definitely will be missed. One thing in the talk though that they talked about, which I never realized, and I meant to look it up again, but I didn't. Dave Bautista is on an episode.
Season 6. He's
Season
part of
6?
the.
That far?
Yeah,
Oh
he's
man.
part of. If I'm not mistaken, if anyone remembers, I think I'm right. He's part of the Kryptonians that escaped once Zion got out of the Phantom Zone. So, or part of the people,
You know
the
what?
masters that escaped from the Phantom Zone that
That would
Clark has
make
to round
sense.
up in season 6.
That would make sense. Okay.
And that's one of those masters attacks Clark, and we get one of the best episodes where Clark is in a mental institution for the majority of the episode, and it is very well done. I can't wait to get to
We've
that
got
point.
a while before we get
Yeah,
there.
quite a while, but it's quite an enjoyable episode.
Okay. Man, that's awesome. Okay, cool. But no, like fun episode. I really enjoyed it. We've only got what
Same.
3 left.
I will
think of the
say
season.
something else that I really enjoyed was the character coming back, Pamela Jenkins, to meet Lex, and we get that like bit of like emotional ties to
Goodbye.
Lex
Yeah.
and what he would used to be, and what his mother wanted for him, and what his father ultimately, the path he put him on.
Yeah.
I love seeing Lex backstory like that. So that's always a great thing. I know Rose Bob never like pumping up his performances, but everything with Lex is always great in this show for me.
Yep. And Lionel coming in and not manipulating, I guess, like, which was
Trying
interesting.
to, but kind of not.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
weird.
But
Yeah.
Joe, I think that's it. We have 2 episodes left of this season.
I think 3 because this was 19.
Could be 3.
Right?
Yeah, 3. 20
Yeah.
and 20. No, there's only 21 episodes.
Oh, that's
There's
right.
only,
That's right.
Yeah.
It is only 21.
So 2 episodes left.
We are very close to the end of that. I'm interested to see if they take a break for a little bit or if they jump into season 2.
I assume they will. I think they'll keep going. But
we'll
I could
see.
be wrong. We'll see.
But at the same time, they record a couple at a time and bank them.
They bank them.
We don't.
We don't. We're right there on the week of all the time. So, Joe, I think that wraps up our episode for tonight.
So.
Listeners, we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Bye.
Later.